If you want to improve your English speaking and sound like natives, then this video is for you. In this video, we're going to talk about commonly used phrasal verbs in daily conversation, and I'm going to teach you different meanings for them, and also I'm going to give you plenty of examples which will help you to understand them better, and what's more, to use them in your own speaking. So watch this video until the end, and I'm sure that by the end of this video, you have learned how to use them, which will help you to sound more like natives and also speak more fluently and with more confidence. The first phrasal verb that I'm going to teach you is to account for. Account for can have different meaning, okay? But let's start with the first one. Well, the first meaning that we have for to account for is to explain the reason for something, the reason behind something. For example, at the time of recording this video, Last of Us is everywhere. Everybody is watching this TV show, okay? Everybody likes it. I have watched it. I like it. So I don't know about you guys. If you have watched it, let me know your opinion about this TV series in the comment section. So anyway, so I can ask, how do you account for this TV series' success? Which means, what are the reasons for this TV show's success? Or another example could be, let's say that there is a football match going on, but the fans don't show up. Maybe the weather is not good, okay? So we can say that poor weather or bad weather can account for fans not showing up, which means that because of the poor weather, the fans didn't show up. To account for can have another meaning, which in this context, it can mean to form the total of something or to be part of something. Adults account for the majority of my subscribers, which means that, well, many of my subscribers are adults. Or if you're like me, guys, you spend a lot of money for food and rent. So we can say that food and rent account for most of our monthly expenses. To account for can also have another meaning. And in this context, it means that you have to, especially when you use this when there is some money involved. Like imagine you work for a company, okay, and then they give you a project, and then they give you some money for that project, which is called budget. Now, after you spend that money, you have to account for that money. So it means that you have to explain to your boss, where did you spend that money? How did you spend that money? So by doing this, you account for that money, okay? That money is not yours. That money is for somebody else. They give it to you. You spend it, but you have to account for every penny that you spend. So it means that you have to explain to someone, where did you spend all that money? Let's move to the next phrasal verb in this video, and that is to act up. To act up can have different meaning. Let's start with the first one. Well, the first one, in this context, when we say usually a child is acting up, it means that that child is behaving badly. That child is not behaving properly. Let's imagine that you have someone coming over, so you talk to the children, you talk to your son, daughter, and you tell them, please behave yourself, please be a good girl, please be a good boy. But when the guests arrive, the children begin acting up. They run around, they make weird noises, okay, they're jumping all over the place, so they are acting up, they're not behaving properly. When kids are tired and hungry, they can act up, which means, again, they can behave badly, right? To act up can also have a different meaning. And in this context, it means when something, especially a machine, doesn't perform well. For example, today, my computer is acting up again. I think it has a virus. Well, it is working right now, right? But it's not working properly. So I think it has a virus. Or you can use act up even for parts of the body. For example, I like jogging every day, but I think I can't go jogging today because my knees are acting up, which means that they are hurting, okay? I have some problems with them. I can still walk, but probably I have to rest for a couple of days, okay? So they recover and now I can go back to jogging. Next, we have to add up. The first meaning that we have for adding up is to calculate the total of something. For example, well, 4 plus 5 is 9, okay? We just added up these two numbers, okay? And we calculated their total, which is 9. We can also use add up to say that something makes sense or something is consistent. For example, well, you see, for example, let's say that you were supposed to go out with your friend, but at the last moment he calls you and says he cannot come because he has to study for his exam. So you go out alone and you see your friend in a restaurant or in some public places. So here we can say that your friend's story doesn't add up. It's not consistent. It doesn't make sense because he just told you that he has to stay home because he wants to study, right? So it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. The story doesn't add up, right? We can also use add up when we want to say that something has a significant effect. For example, let's say you want to start saving up to buy something, okay? So you can just start by saving $5 every day. Now, $5 every day is not a lot of money, but if you save $5 every day for 2 years, the numbers add up, right? So after 2 years, probably you have $5,000, $6,000. These numbers have a significant effect. Or we all want to diet and look better, right? So we are on a diet, but we tell ourselves that it's okay, I can have a snack here and there, and these snacks are just 50 calories, so they're not gonna hurt my diet, right? But if you're having 10 or 12, 50 calories snack every day, these calories can add up, and now suddenly you're eating 500 or 600 extra calories, right? Which is not really productive if you want to lose weight, right? Now let's talk about ask around. I guess this one is more familiar for you because of the verb ask, okay? But this is a very common phrasal verb, okay? So when you're asking around, it means that you are asking from different people for information. Now, let's say that you are new in a neighborhood and you're looking for a plumber, but you don't know anybody. So you can ask around from your neighbors and hopefully they can recommend someone to you. Or let's say that you want to find an address. So you know the neighborhood, but you don't know where that particular place exactly is. So you can go to that neighborhood and you can ask around from the locals to find the exact address. Next, we have backup. To back up means to support something or somebody. For example, you have to back me up on this. We need to stick together, which means that you have to support me in this situation and we have to stay together, right? We have to stick together. Or I can say, my manager backed me up when a customer complained, which means that my manager supported me, right? Not the customer. Backup can also mean to make a copy of something. For example, I always back up my files before I shut down my computer because, sometimes you can lose your files if you don't back them up. You can also use backup for moving vehicles in the street, for example. Let's say that you are parking and suddenly your friend tells you, can you back up a little bit, please? Because you're too close to the car in front of you. So you just move the car a little back. Let's talk about another meaning for backup, which is very useful. Now, sometimes when people are talking to you, especially natives, now you can miss what they said, right? So you want to ask them, please go back a little bit because I didn't understand what you just said. In this case, you can use backup. So you can say, please back up a little bit. I didn't catch what you said, or I didn't get what you said, right? It means that go back a little. Next, we have bailout. My brother got arrested for drunk driving and I had to bail him out. To bail out means that you pay some money to release someone from jail or some illegal problem. So if you're drunk driving, which means that you're driving while you're drunk, well, this is illegal and you have to pay a fine, which means you have to pay some money. And usually, well, in this case, I had to pay that money to release my brother from the jail. Or I always bail out my brother when he gets into debt. Right? If you bail out like this, it means that you lend someone money, you help someone, especially when they are in financial difficulties. Like in this case, it means that I paid the debt for my brother. Or she bailed out on me at the last minute and left me alone in the party. Here it means that we have this difficult situation and somebody bails out on you, which means that they cancel that, like they don't want to be involved in that situation anymore. Or imagine you have a plan or a project with your friend, but your friend bails out on you. Okay, so here means that that friend stops working for you, okay, or stops working with you. And usually this means that the project is difficult, or the friend, for example, didn't think that this project would be successful, or they bailed out on us when they found a better deal, which means that, right? So they canceled our deal because they had a better deal. Now let's talk about blow up. The terrorists tried to blow up the bridge, but the police stopped them, right? To blow something up means to explode something, to make something explode. I blew up the balloon and gave it to my son. Here it means that I filled the balloon with gas or air and now the balloon is big, right? Or they blew up at each other and started shouting. Here it means that these two people are very angry. They become very angry. Or, for example, I saw the mess in my room and I blew up, right? I saw the mess in my room and I got very angry. Next, we have breakdown. My car broke down on the highway and I had to call for help. To break down means when something stops working completely, and you should not confuse this one with act up, because when something acts up, it means that it is still working, but it's not working properly. However, when something breaks down, usually machines, okay, they stop working completely. Like the printer broke down and now it needs to be fixed. You can also break down emotionally, which means that probably you start crying. Like, for example, I broke down after I saw the match where my favorite soccer team, lost. So I just suddenly broke down, which means that I started crying because of that loss. Next, we have to break in. To break in means to enter somewhere by force, and you usually do that because you want to steal something. For example, someone broke in and stole my laptop, which means that somebody entered my house by force and they stole my laptop. Or the police caught him when he was trying to break into a car. In this case, it means that the police catches this person when he's trying to steal that car. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please consider subscribing and liking this video if you haven't already. I upload videos every week, videos which will help you to speak like natives and be more fluent and confident. And if you have any questions about these phrasal verbs, you can comment them in the comment section and I will answer it for you.